Okay, we are live again. I apologize for the technical issues. For some reason, my computer does not want to share screen on Google Hangouts unless I am the host or moderator or whatever you call it. So, Erica, can you see my screen? Can you see Facebook?
Yes, I can. Yep,
Oh, yay, so it's working. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is, and again, this is going to be very basic, simple things that some people don't think about, but is really going to help you really have your images be eye-popping and stop traffic. And the first is using a color wheel. Can you still see my screen, Erica?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so all you have to do is Google color wheel and a whole bunch of these images will come up. And really what you want to do is, you know, really what I start out with, if I have a, say the images that I'm creating recently with the Godmama image, you know, it's a selfie of me with a hat on, and I figure out what kind of background I want on my image to kind of cut out the background kind of stuff. But then when I'm creating the text, instead of just using black and or white or something like that, I go to the opposite side of the wheel. So, and you can kind of, you don't have to go exactly across. You can, I don't know if you can see my pointer, but if you're like on, say, and here, I'll do the bigger one. If I'm going to use, say, a violet background, I may use, and if it's dark violet, then I may use like a white or a light yellow, like a creamy color text, because that's really gonna pop out from the violet background. And it's a what they call just colors that work together. It's just because that they're the opposite side of the wheel that they're gonna really be work together. So, and then in this one, you can see that, you know, when you go to a little bit more blue violet, that then orange is going to be better. The only one I don't really like using is red and green because it always looks like Christmas. So so I kind of stay away from that. When I'm using green, of course, I don't really like to use red text, but maybe I'll use like a really deep reddish brown or something like that, or maybe just black. But look at your color wheel when you're creating images, and just think about the colors that work. And so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to, and again, just Google color wheel. A bunch of these will come up, and you'll be able to kind of tell what you should use. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about Canva. Now, I know most people know how to use Canva. A lot of us use it because they will automatically show you what size. You can pick the size of wherever you're posting the image. So if you're posting in Facebook, there's Facebook post image, there's Instagram images, there's images to put on Twitter and that kind of thing. And so it's really nice to be able to not have to worry whether your stuff's going to have to be edited again, or if you need to resize it somehow, or that kind of thing, to be able to pick your whatever you're going to post in. So one of the things I want to show, so I'm just going to do like a Facebook post. And of course, it comes up blank. And most of you know that there are some images that you can use. It of course brings up Easter because that's what's coming up soon. But if you Google something, or you search, not Google, but search it in Canva, say you want, let's see, stairs. It will come up with images of stairs. If it's got a price tag on it, you are going to be charged $1. You have up to 24 hours to edit the image. So if you pick something and all of a sudden you figure out that it's not going to work, if you take it off, then they won't charge you. So you have up to 24 hours to edit the image if you want to change it. A lot of the images are free. Now, when I brought up stairs, obviously most of them, as you can see, have price tags on them. So let's just use, one of my uploads. Because sometimes what I'll do is I'll find something that has, just by Googling images that don't have any, rights infringement or anything like that. And this is the one I used for the Princess Mafia. It's, gems and pink and just lovely for our image. And you can just enlarge it, of course, to fit your image size. And sometimes I even will enlarge it even more if I don't want some of those gems because maybe they're distracting to the text that I'm going to use. I'll enlarge it even more and then have the text up here at the top where there's not such a distracting images with the sparkly diamonds or whatever they're supposed to be. And so, I just kind of play around with this. One of the ninja tricks you may or may not know that I wanted to mention is one of the things that I didn't like about Canva that I love about apps on my phone is that a lot of times the text apps or the photo image creation apps that I use on my phone have an option to put like a shadow behind text, and sometimes that'll even really help text pop out. Like if I didn't want to use black on here and I wanted to use white, if I let's see, let's just do something on here. Bigger. Let's see, let's make it even bigger so you can see. Okay, and let's make it fancy. So if you click on the little thing, you can change your font. So, Princess Sophia.
Naturally.
I don't like that one. Let's do this one. This is fancier. Okay, so kind of fancy, kind of thin. So the other thing the one thing I was going to teach you today is how to make a shadow. So I'm going to make this white. And of course, now you can hardly see it. But if I copy the image and make that image black, tell me if I'm going too fast. And then you want to move to back. And then when you move it, it becomes, and sometimes I align it and then I use my little arrow keys because you can get a little bit more, less movement without using your finger on the, because I'm on my laptop, so without using a mouse or your finger on the mouse pad. If you use the arrow, then you can get a little bit more detailed or more littler movements so that you're not moving from like being right behind it to like way over to the side. Mm-hmm. And you can also use it move it up a little bit depending on how you want it, or down if you want it to be kind of like a shadow kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And the other thing is that a lot of these fonts don't have a bold option like this one. So if I would, let's send it to back again. Sometimes it doesn't listen to me. Oh, it already is back. Okay, so what's it doing here? Okay, let's move it a little bit. With this, I found you got to play around with it a lot. So if you choose the white one and make it black, and then move the other black one up and slightly over, then it becomes bold for you.
Mm-hmm.
It stands out a little bit. That's one of my ninja tricks. The other thing I wanted to show, or another thing I wanted to show, let's move that up here. Okay, instead of using just a square photo, I like to use frames because it just makes it look, although Ray says I look like Glenda the Good Witch when I have my face in a little bubble. But you can choose different shapes and it just makes it stand out. So if you choose that one, and you can change the frame. So I don't really necessarily want blue. I might want pink.
Oh my God, I've always wondered how you did this stuff.
And then you can
Trade secrets, team.
Then you can change the size. And then I don't have a picture of, oh, maybe I do. Let me look. I have a picture of Erica in here. Well, let's just use Anna since she's right there. Okay, so then you kind of hover it over and it puts it right in there. And
magic.
yeah, and then if you double click it, like say you don't want it, you want it to be just a little bit farther out. If you double click it, you can with her, let me, hold on. Let me make this a little bit bigger.
How long did it take you to master Canva, Linda?
Not very much, not very long, because I kind of knew some of the stuff that it does because of using what's that program on Apple? I can't think of it right now. Photoshop, yeah.
Okay.
And it's a lot like that. It's a lot simpler. But so if I wanted to, like, oh, I didn't mean to pick Anna. If I exit out, it's still going to show Anna, but I can pick, say, Zen, and put that in there, and it's going to cover it up.
That was Vegas.
Yeah.
I remember that thing.
And then after it's in there, and you like you know, this is a good cropping. You know, it's not chopping off the top of her head or anything like that. Then you can make it smaller or larger, and it still keeps the crop that it did. So.
So before you create this image, do you know how you want it to look?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
But I will tell you that one of the things that I look at is when I'm doing a quote, and I look at the quote, I think of what does that make me, what image does that bring to mind? Is it something that is, you know, obviously if it's talking about one, you know, every journey begins with one step, you might want to Google, you know, someone stepping onto sand, or, you know, someone walking, something like that. But if it's something that just brings me calm, or it's about, you know, something like having peace in your life or something like that, I may go Google images of gardens or something that is very calming. So I match up what the quote is to what the image is going to be behind that. And the other thing I want to mention is try not to, because I'm really trying to keep this at a basic level, and we'll get into much more detail on Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. When you use text, I've seen people do this, and I don't remember who, so I'm not trying to call out anybody, but let's just do this, and what it says. And they will put it the face of the person, whether it be themselves or if they're talking about maybe Gary Vaynerchuk or whatever. Don't do that. It's basically smacking the person in the face, like, you know, I'm covering up your face because it's not very important. The one thing I will do, if it's a long quote and it's from somebody like Abraham Lincoln, in the next training, I'm going to show you how to take a picture of Abraham Lincoln and put, if you're not in something that will already make the image, if you're not in a program that will make the image lighter or darker, you know, there's like a transparency where you can make it, or what's the other thing? I can't think of what it's called, but there's some things you can use to make the image lighter or darker. I have a program that will put what they call a mask over it, and you can mask part of it. So if I don't know if you can follow my arrow, but if I wanted to just use this half of it, but I wanted the right half of this image to be plain, I could mask this part of it with just putting a mask, a color, maybe dark pink or something, and put it over that, and then put a quote on there. But if I'm doing something like Abraham Lincoln, and I've done these before, or there was a quote that I can't remember the quote, but it had to do with the Statue of David. And so I had a full picture of the Statue of David. Of course, I grayed out the private parts so that I didn't get in trouble with Facebook. And then I did a mask over it that wasn't a full intense color. I faded it out so that, like, I would choose white, and then I would fade out the mask that I put over it, and so that made the image of David very faded and kind of in the background. And then my quote about the Statue of David went over that, and then really popped from that. But if you're using pictures of current people or somebody who's going to be doing talking or whatever, or even if it's yourself, don't put the text over their face because it's a little bit rude. The other thing is be careful about your text. I see a lot of great images with great quotes, but I can hardly read them. So they choose white because maybe the top of the image is a darker blue, but like say it's an ocean or something. So the top of the image is darker blue, but the bottom of the image gets really light, and so then the bottom half of the quote is, you can't hardly see it. And if people can't see, if they have to strain their eyes to see your quote, they're going to pass that right by. And you really want people to view you as, you know, putting out great content, that you're posting great inspirational quotes and all of that kind of thing. So make sure to play around with the color of the text. And if you need to, put a shadow behind it. I'm going to be using a lot of apps that will automatically do that for you. You don't have to do the copy like you do in Canva. But so I'm going to be showing you a lot to where you can add, you know, shadow. You can add in one of the programs, you can add a thing that looks like a button. So if you're putting an image in, say, Instagram, I'm going to show you how you can make, like, click info in bio or click link in bio, that actually almost looks like a button, and it really stands out so that they know, oh, that's what I have to do to find this training or get the information. And so Canva is really good, to get back to Canva, Canva is really good at, obviously, getting the image size that you need for the media that you're going to use, the social media platform you're going to use. If you don't like in the text, and most of you know this, but in the text, you know, they have these like preformed things that you can use to make it look a little bit fancier. So like the happy holidays, and then you can, of course, you can change it to put happy Easter, and then there's some, you can't really see it. Let me change it to black.
Zen has a moustache.
He does.
A Dali moustache.
That's hilarious. Well, I mistakenly pinked out her eyes. It looked like she was a fashion don't when I changed some images for Princess Mafia. I was putting a slash through a word, and for some reason, I guess my finger slipped and it put the slash over her eyes. She's like, "Why did you pink out my eyes?" I'm like, "Oops, sorry. Let me go back and edit that." Okay, so they have, these pre-created things, and then there's, if you can see it, it says warm wishes for the holiday season, so you can make that, red or green or whatever. I really like, and most people do, that's why they use it, the fonts and the creation of text groups in those programs that are on your phone. So most of them will let you choose a background of a transparent background, and I do that a lot. I save that, like I'll put just my name, and I'll make it real fancy like this. Well, this isn't my name, but I created this in one of the apps on my phone, and I had a transparent background, and then I saved it to my phone, and then I emailed it to myself, or if you use the Dropbox or whatever, and then you can bring it in to Canva and use it on Canva. That's one of the reasons why my images pop, is that I don't stick with, now if you're not into creating images and you just want to do something super quick, stick with one app or stick with one program for one image. But what I do is I'll go to maybe 3 or 4 doing different things. So, if I wanted, if this was Erica's picture, and, it says Erica Udenu, and then I wanted to say something about, what a great leader she was or something, and have it in this fancy thing, I would create it on an app on my phone with a transparent background, save it, get it to my computer somehow, emailing it or putting it in Dropbox or something, and then bringing it in like that. And then that way I'm not stuck to using, although they're great, I'm not stuck to using just the ones they suggest in their text groups.
So Linda, let me ask you a quick question. On average, how long does it take you to create one eye-popping, traffic-stopping graphic?
I would say probably about 10 to 15 minutes.
Wow, that's not bad at all.
No, and you'll get faster as you are, just with everything. You're kind of like, it's kind of cumbersome to you when you first start, and you'll get faster as you know, like I know what apps to go to for certain fonts that I like or certain font groupings that I like, and I'll create it real fast on a transparency, but I know that I want to use Canva because maybe I want to use a picture, like I did with Zen, where it has a frame around it, and so I kind of know where I'm gonna go, and so it doesn't take very long at all. But all of these programs, especially the ones I'm going to show you on Wednesday from my phone. And the reason I can't go into more detail, first of all, we don't want it to be too long on a team call, but I can't share my entire screen. Obviously, you saw what happened when I tried to do that on Google Hangouts. So we're going to use Zoom on the technical call, and that way I have a program that's going to mirror image my phone screen up on my computer screen, and you'll be able to see exactly what I'm doing on my phone.
Great.
And yeah, so I'm gonna show you probably about 4 programs, at least some basic stuff in each of the programs that I use. And so yeah, so a little teaser as to what you can do. If you have any questions about Canva, like does it do this? I don't know everything. I'm still learning about that too. I use what I know, and sometimes I get into it and say, oh, I didn't know I could do that. And so just get in and play with it, until you save it. And even then, you can still edit it forever. So don't be afraid to change things around and play with it. But if you have any questions, feel free to send me a private message. If I don't know how to do it, I'll try to figure out how to do it. And we can always pop on a Google Hangout if you need something to be actually shown to you. I know sometimes, you know, walking through a process is easier, or visual things, or especially with designing graphics, you might need to see it visually. So I have no problem doing that.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
Great stuff, my darling. Well,
Thank you.
I just want to thank you so much, because I've literally, you know, sometimes been scrolling through Facebook and seeing your stuff, and I've literally thought, oh my God, like how the heck does she do that, right? Because I'm like, at the beginning, I'm real basic. I have one app and that's it. I want my stuff done fast, which is why I was really curious, you know, like how long it actually takes you to do that. I'm so glad that you shared with the team that it's only like 10 to 15 minutes, right? So good stuff.
Yep. And, you know, when you're just kind of playing on your phone, play with that stuff, you know, instead of maybe, you know, sometimes to relax, I'll play like solitaire or something. Well, instead of doing that, kind of play with some of those image apps, and that way you're going to get faster. And when you get faster, then you'll be able to create more, because it won't take you so long. You'll be able to do more effects, because it won't take you so long to figure out how to resize or, you know, change the wording or whatever the case may be. So play around with it.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Well, darling, I want to thank you so much for joining us at 6 o'clock in the morning to teach us a little bit about Canva and how you make those absolutely eye-popping, traffic-stopping graphics. So thank you so much, Dance. And to everyone who tuned in live, Dance, thank you so much for your patience. We did have a technical glitch in the beginning, but it's all good. One of the great things about our team is we work out how to figure stuff out, and we always figure stuff out. So, darlings, what I'll be doing is I'll be putting this training into the file section of our Facebook group. There'll be two parts. One will be the little one that we did, which is the start of the team call, and then of course we'll have the Canva training from Linda. But do remember, coming up tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Linda will be on the Tilt Technical Team Talk training. We should go into more depth on how to create these amazing images on Canva, so do stop in for that. And darlings, please do remember that the Tilt Team Technical Training calls have been put in place so that you have how many excuses? This many excuses as to why you can't get stuff done, right? There are 0 excuses here anymore. So darlings, that's it from us. That's it from Linda. Darlings, thank you so much for being here. Linda, any final words before we let everyone go?
No, just a reminder that the technical calls are now going to be at 1 p.m. on Wednesday. We changed that because Diana wants the time freedom to be able to stay if people have questions and not rush off to pick up her kids. So now Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern.
Awesome. Fantastic. Fantastic. So, darlings, that's it from us. Have an epic, epic, epic week. We will see you next Tuesday at the same time, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And again, the Tilt Technical Team Talk tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Darlings, thank you so much for being here. Linda, again, thank you so much for being the true leader that you are, getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning to a team training. That is just epic. And sweethearts, we will see you here next week. Love you guys. Mwah. Bye.